All right, full patch notes. Here we go. Celebrate 3rd anniversary, blah, blah, blah. New legend, Mad Maggie, blah, blah, blah. New legend, we already broke down her abilities. Brand new limited time mode, control, we know that. Get rewards, kick off the season, we already kind of know that. Amazing community of Apex Legends are giving away rewards to all players who log in the first 3 weeks of Defiance from February 8th to February 15th. All players will unlock 3 Octane thematic packs. This is just the kind of, not the juicy stuff. We want the juicy stuff. All right, Storm Point updates. Wildlife. It's now been a full season since we introduced PvE into the Battle Royale. I'm not really going to do the Olympus map update. Prowler damage reduced from 30 to 20 and reduced knockback force. Massive. That is massive. And we were happy Wildlife has launched. We've seen Prowlers were a bit too punishing and not quite rewarding enough. Additionally, we have seen some bad edge cases that create frustration for players that we're hoping to address this season. We'll go more in depth, the exact details for our reasoning behind them, another blog. But in short, Prowler damage reduced. Good. Increased Prowler Nest completion reward from 9 to 150 crafting materials, 250 for total for the large Prowler Nest in the center of the map. Note, crafting rewards are divided evenly amongst all squad mates nearby at the time of clearing the nest. All players, regardless of squad in the area, of their share of the 250 crafting material reward when the large nest is cleared. Overhauled wildlife targeting rules to use damage the primary factor, which should help wildlife targeting feel more fair and less random. I don't know what that means, but okay. Introducing a targeting cap for Prowlers, so only 3 Prowlers will be able to target a player at a time. That's still a lot, but yeah, should be 2 in my opinion. I think 3 is still overkill, but that's just me. Prowler den spawns are now disabled when there are 2 teams inside of the same nest, except for the massive Prowler nest at the center of the map. Okay, I feel that. Prowlers are now neutral when outside the ring, unless engaged in combat. Prowler dens are now disabled outside the ring if Prowler camp is passive. Wandering Prowlers in small wildlife nests have been reduced from 3 down to 2, and their wander radius is reduced by half until they are engaged in combat. I like that. Made some tweaks that should help the squads clear Prowler nests quicker. Gave a slight increase to high-tier consumable drops on all wildlife. Gave a slight increase to high-tier consumable drops. Okay. More batteries and things like that. While Storm Point has relatively healthy spread of landing location, we realized that the typical dropship logic often made the high northeast corner of the summit particularly tough to land. So in rotating this distribution and moving the center point slightly northeast should make High Point and Lightning Rod more accessible, while still allowing players to land in the lower southward portion if they desire. Honestly, you could show me both images and be like, what's the difference? And I'd be like, I don't know. Like, they look the same to me. Skip. Improve wildlife combat versus targeting and damage now focused on occupied vehicles. Okay. Improve wildlife interactions versus electrical abilities and making stunning wildlife with Watson fences. Okay. Ranked update. Here we go. In Apex Legends, the primary goal is to be the last legend standing and racking up the kills. Flexibility. Players focus on finding higher placements. Whatever. Max kill KP. This tuning is more punishing to teams that undervalue placements. We're bumping up placement points from teams in the top 5, easing back on the kill KP, and adjusting per kill bonuses require 2-3 less kills to hit the maximum. Split 1 will be played on Olympus, and we'll move on to Kings Canyon Split 2 in April. Communication filters. During the season, we'll be releasing we're releasing a feature where players will be able to determine which players they want to receive voice and text chat. Communication filter. Players can find the feature in the options menu. Okay. I'm not sure how I feel about it. I'm a big advocate for Team KP because, you know, if you're hiding in a building, if you're anchoring a building and holding a building for your team while your team is being aggressive and fighting other teams off and getting kills in the distance and poking and things like that, that is kind of like the bread and butter of Apex, where it's just teamwork helps you get the dub, right? Teamwork make the dream work type of thing. So I don't know. This change is still no Team KP. It's a little tough for me, but I guess placements are more valued than kills. But even though kills, I mean, we have to see it. I never understand the math breakdown for this, so we'll see. That's actually, yeah, so you throw the drone. I was seeing that. You throw the drone, and the second it touches the wall, it flips. So it basically looks back at you, depending on where you were throwing it. I kind of like that. Crypto no longer immediately accesses drone view after deploying the drone in this way. True. Pressing and holding the tactical button will launch the drone forward in the same way, but then crypto will immediately access drone view 2 separate ways. I still like the immediate toss out queue. I think this makes crypto meta. Crypto and Mad Maggie are definitely going to be in the competitive scene big time. The health for the drone down from 60 to 50. That's an extra bullet or less a bullet. So I kind of like that change. Crypto has been off the grid in terms of pick rate. The goal of these changes will make it more accessible and engaging. With the new deployment option, we lower the drone health to prevent reckless drone deploy. Person methodical, calculating legend, and manually piloting hacks should still primarily react. I kind of agree with this. I don't think crypto is really like a pickup in pubs, right? I don't think he was a pickup in pubs at all. I think he was a very, very difficult legend at the moment. In professional play, he's actually pretty good, but it's still really hard. Caustic Nox gas traps are now destroyable after detonation. We've seen that. I like this change. However, I think personally what would be a way better nerf, in my opinion, is literally pick one. Nerf the like get rid of the slow and keep the damage, or get rid of the damage and keep the slow. But then keep the barrels the same way. I think this allows for Caustic to still kind of like hold down a building without everybody like throwing their hands up and be like, this character's useless. You know, it's like the slow is the slow is more impactful than the damage. The damage is just fucking annoying, to be completely honest with you. The damage was just like unnecessary. And also vice versa, if you are getting damaged and you're not getting slowed, by fighting in the gas, you're moving quickly, but you can't see anything, which it makes the damage more impactful because that person's definitely going to push your building. You know what I mean? So they're going to be fighting and taking 10, 15 damage, 20 damage, like 2 bullets, essentially, that you don't have to shoot out of your gun. I think that's really good. So, I don't know. Gas lingers for 2 seconds after the barrel destruction expiration. Gas particles still linger longer as they dissipate. Still think we need a breakdown of, or I still think we need a radius bar. Okay, so to go back into the patch notes, supply drop rotation, the alternator SMG returns to the ground loot this season and taking its place in this powerful mid-range energy volt. Taking its place is the powerful mid-range energy volt. Damage increase 15 to 17, mag size from 28 to 30. It was 28 in the playtest, so 30 now. That definitely makes it insane. The Volt is really strong. Definitely a pick-me-up for sure, especially if you're a control player. I think control player Volt is just super fucking good. I think it's going to be a solid pick-me-up. P2020, plus 50% unshielded damage. Mozambique, plus 35 unshielded damage. And RE45, plus 35. We kind of test them a little bit. I do think that it's going to be a good pick-me-up if you have them. But I also think, you know, doing the damage test, this right here did as much damage as a alternator. So I don't know how I feel about it. It's kind of like you could rock both. Passively affects hipfire for both weapons. ADS remains precision shot. No longer able to toggle on or off. 30-30 pellet damage reduced from 8 to 7. Interesting. Bow pellet damage reduced from 12 to 11. So they nerfed it, actually. It's interesting. Triple take. Damage reduced from 23 to 21. I like it. So it's 63 instead of 69. It's still a lot. Removing projectile growth from bullets. Okay, never mind. The triple take fluid has been really positive, but it's proving to be a bit ahead of its pack with its range performance, limiting the bullet growth and retained its day as a sniper to pull it in line with marksman's. I like it. Damage reduced from 19 to 18 per bullet. So it did get nerfed. The flatline ended up getting a nerf. Rampage damage reduced from 20 to 26. Still think this is too high, but I don't know. Reduced the number of shots during rev state from 40 to 34. Still think that's a lot. To finish off this, okay? I talked about the flatline in the crafter. What they could have done, because there's definitely an oversaturation of heavy guns this season, right? This specific season, we saw that. You can look at the weapon crates, like the alternator being in the package. The car, it was kind of one of those weapons. So the car, I think in order to help balance this out, instead of putting the flatline in the crafter, they should have just made when the alternator is back on the floor, just make the car a light ammo gun. I think making the car a light ammo gun, it doesn't change anything because it's still the same gun, but it just makes it light, right? So I think for ammo purposes, that's just better than putting an entire weapon inside the crafter to help with floor loot. It kind of confuses me there. On the flip side of this, I also kind of like the change because they basically can have more items, like higher tier items, more heals, more attachments, other like purple armors, blue armors. There's more floor loot in terms of that. So I can see how they decided to put weapons in the crafter to help clean up that potentially have more stuff. Utility loot could definitely help out. Medkit pricing lowered from 20 to 15. Kinetic feeder added to the crafting rotation. Okay. Medkit price lowered. I mean, I guess it doesn't really affect anything. I think 20 was healthy, personally. A lot of bug fixes, but I don't think we necessarily care for a lot of these bug fixes in terms of like just the actual things. But I'll go over them. Fixed issue where multiple legends are missing voice lines. Yeah, see, like missing voice lines, like I don't care. Yeah, a lot of these bugs are not really... Custom reticles won't work anymore. That's fine. final rings so they don't tend in areas with no cover. Populated dens. Storm point where players get stuck in the map by using Valk's ultimate. Fixed case where players are able to shoot through chain link fences of antenna. Some of these are important, but some of these are like, eh. Oh, you can see their survival items. That's awesome. Okay, I like that change a lot. Fixed some weird rules and how assists and kills are determined and properly rewarded. Quitting players can no longer deny kills and assists. Reviving no longer resets damage history. Okay, sick. That's awesome. I like that change, actually. That's huge. That's massive. So now if you do damage to somebody and then they revive them and then you full kill them again, it still counts. I know I haven't read it yet. I'm trying to finish this. Private match updates. Observer. Okay, this is just basically for competitive. Okay. This is more for just the other stuff. Overall, I mean, the reticle nerf, I don't think you should care so much about the reticle nerf. It doesn't matter, right? The reticle, like, you shouldn't have to add in a CFG file for a custom reticle. Like, you should just use the ones that are given in game. It just makes sense. I mean, I don't know why everyone's freaking out about it. Yeah, overall, I mean, the patch notes are very mid. We're not seeing a nerf to Valkyrie's ult. We're not seeing a nerf to Gibraltar. We're kind of... They kind of, like, touch things on Storm Point, but, like, Storm Point doesn't affect the rank season coming up. I don't even think Storm Point is going to be in the rotation for maps. We're not going to see a lot of these changes until, like, Season 13. So I don't know... like, we can look at things of Storm Point and we're kind of just, like, tossing up our hands, kind of like, okay, cool, but we're not really... we're not really going to see anything in Season 12 for that. The Olympus update, obviously we can't like talk on these things. Pubs, though, Storm Point is in the rotation for pubs. Okay, if Storm Point is in the rotation for pubs, I think that's good then, but it's still kind of like not competitive, not ranked. Like in pubs, Storm Point is just a really terrible pub map regardless, and I think every single person can agree with that statement. It is just such a large map that for pubs purposes, it's just too big. I think for a ranked map, though, I think it's amazing for ranked. I think the size of the map is perfect for rank, and I'm a big fan of that, which is good. It shows that Storm Point has a lot of potential, which I really, really like.